Let me get this straight. So you're telling me Askeladd wanted to be the hand of the king the entire time? Ooh, Thorfinn, this story isn't about you anymore. If you have never seen me before, hello, my name is DJ Miles, and I am here to review the latest episode of Vinland Saga. This is episode 13, Child of a Hero, and as I was mentioning earlier in the beginning, we got a lot of exposition, not a lot of action, but of course, plentiful exposition that now opens up this ever-vasting and growing world of Vinland Saga, which I can just really appreciate and love so much. So we get here, a lot of reveal with Askeladd's character. He's half Dane, half Welsh, and not only that, he's a descendant in one of the very last, if not the last, of the stories and the legends of King Arthur himself. So that is very cool. Askeladd and his commander goes up and now have this negotiation, and then we get all this backstory. And again, this is very interesting because now that we know that Askeladd is a descendant and now his true motives, right? And I say that a little bit consciously because Askeladd has been someone who's always in it for himself. Up until this point, we've seen how he's just always very driven towards money and just kind of glory and all that stuff, although he's very smart and meticulous about how he goes about that. So is this a bit of an unreliable narrator here that he really wants what's the best for Wales and essentially hopefully have this non-negotiation treaty that Denmark will not lay a hand on Wales permanently if Canute ultimately becomes the future king of Denmark? Or is this all just a ruse, right? We do get a moment where the guy he's talking to, he's like, so what do you think about the Danes? You know, are you really more of a blood off of the commander of the Britannia army? Or are you more of a Danes, or do you have more Danes pumping through you? And he, looks at his men and he's like, well, I don't really give, two shits about them. And this whole episode was just so sprinkled with a lot of the people on his camp, his men, especially his second in command, saying, hey, I trust him. Although I've been with him and following him for years and years, I didn't even know he spoke a different language up until now. I thought he was just 100% Danes. Again, I trust him. And at the end of the episode, even when Askeladd was like, hey men, we're changing direction. Don't worry about it. We're going over here. The episode ended with the last shot of him just kind of looking like this, just stoic face. And I'm here wondering if he's going to lead these men onto their graves next week. So I rewatched it 2 times now. And that's what I kind of got. I'm like, ooh, they keep on throwing a lot of the words of trust. I trust Askeladd. He's going to take care of us. But is he going to send all of them to their deathbed next week? Something to think about, right? As much as I've always loved to have made fun of Canute because he's... Speak up, dude. Speak up. He still doesn't do it. But now I'll step back just for a few seconds here because now we end up finding out, okay, he has to be cautious because when you come from royalty, you have to understand that in those times, even people in your family want to kill one another just so they can have that top dog position of, I'm not only the king, but I'm going to rule the rest of the land. And how many people do I trust? I can't even trust my own brother, my sister, or my family for that matter. So as they were pretty much attacking one another, Canute quietly in the sidelines, just kind of staying to himself up until everyone, I'm just assuming, is mostly dead. And now it's only his father and Canute. Maybe that's why the king of Denmark is holding a high regard for his son, because we get that in the beginning of the episode. He asked his men, listen, even if we're winning the army, Canute is my only son. He is top priority. Doesn't look like he cares too much about his son. From the dialogue we got, it looks like he cares. So we'll have to see where that goes. And then, of course, we also now get the reveal that Canute, oh my god, he spoke to someone other than Ragnar, and all that was through Thorfinn ourselves, our main protagonist. I'm not sure how much of a protagonist he's going to keep on staying in this story with Askeladd. Mic drop that we got here with his info, but we see that these two people, I think it's going to be a little bit telegraphed that, hey, Thorfinn is going to learn something from Canute and vice versa. and through one another, they're going to kind of appreciate and take something that they can learn. It's good to see Canute finally stepping up, but as we heard a few times in this episode, even if Ragnar has been protecting him, there's a point where, you know, the bird has to essentially leave the nest and do his own thing. I'm finally glad and happy to acknowledge that Canute is taking, even if they are baby steps to become the person that maybe he was truly destined to be. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But so I think that was pretty much it. So guys, let me know what you thought about this episode. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think about this whole reveal with Askeladd here? Is he taking his men to an untimely death next week? You know, we'll have to wait and see. And do you think his plans is going to work, that he's going to take care of Canute, raise him up so he can essentially become the hand of the king, the second in command, make him sign this treaty so that Wales just kind of becomes their own nation and they're just, you know, independent and no harm happens from them? So is this going to happen? We'll have to wait and see, like I said. But let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more anime content. My name is DJ Miles, and as I always say, to be continued, take care.